Now, there's news coming out of the political scene as the Democratic Party, led by Speaker Justin Muturi, signs an agreement or enters into a coalition agreement with the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. We have Vincent Oduor, who's been covering those events, or that particular event, and we'll be hearing from him in a moment. There is also reaction coming out of the lexicon that was released yesterday by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission that classified certain words as hate speech. And interestingly enough, Hatupangwingwi is one of those that was identified. So, Vincent, has there been reaction to that lexicon following the Sipangwingwi remix that was released by the artist and Deputy President William Ruto? And what exactly has been signed between DP, the Democratic Party, the Deputy President, and now that we're using DP, the acronym, as well as the Kenya Kwanza Alliance?
Absolutely. This has been one of the longest presses ever done by the Deputy President together with his allies here. And today what was basically happening is that the Democratic Party was being admitted officially to join the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. And we saw the DP, or the Democratic Party leader, Speaker Justin Muturi, was here, and the Deputy President William Ruto, who is the presidential candidate of the Kenya Alliance, were here to sign a coalition agreement, and that now made the Democratic Party officially a member of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. And just to tell you some of the details of the coalition agreement is that, first of all, today they have made it very clear that the Kenya Kwanza Alliance will be a coalition of parties, and it is not a coalition political party, and therefore it is a coalition of parties whereby it will the constituent parties within it will remain recognized, and therefore it will remain a coalition of parties. And also another thing in the coalition agreement is that when it comes to sharing or forming the government, it will be on the basis of the elected members of the constituent parties of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. And another thing is that any member who has now joined the Kenya Kwanza Alliance has 30 days to decide whether they want to exit the alliance or not. And also a number of things. Another thing that are so important is that the leaders of the various political parties under Kenya Kwanza Alliance will be equal when it comes to the management of the coalition. These are some of the things that really will direct them as far as running the Kenya Kwanza Alliance ahead of the 2022 election. And the Deputy President has really talked about a number of things, and one of the things that took center stage is the issue of blackmail and intimidation, whereby the leaders of Kenya Kwanza Alliance are accusing the government of trying to use public institutions and also the criminal justice to try and intimidate and also to blackmail them. And the Deputy President was very clear on this, saying that Kenyans will not be allowed to be blackmailed, or they will not be intimidated as far as political choices are concerned. And the biggest thing the DP has talked about is the issue of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission which decided to ban the use of certain words like Hatupangwingi, which is being largely used by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders, whereby Deputy President has termed the NCIC move as inconsequential or a waste of time and an exercise in futility, saying that instead of government institutions using their time to try and dictate which vocabularies Kenyans should be using, these institutions should be using that time, or the leaders who are behind such moves should be using that time to come up with a plan of changing the country, instead of using such institutions to try and blackmail and dictate what vocabularies Kenyans should use. And that is something they have vowed they will continue using the word Sipangwingwi in their political rallies. And remember, the DP has done a song with the artist of the song, and they vowed to continue using it. And they are saying if the government wants to use such institutions to ban such words, it should do it the same to their opponents, because they are saying their opponents have also been using certain words, like fire or risasi, fire, vijana, and they're saying such people also should be reprimanded, and they're seeing that move as a witch hunt and made politically to curtail their activities. Another thing that really came up is the issue of whereby CAK is telling Kenyans to go and re-register their mobile, SIM cards, and that is something they have taken issue with, and they are saying they are not going to allow that to happen. And if CA is not going to stop that, they are going to use their lawyers to move to court to stop that exercise. And they are accusing CA and also the government of planning to use the issue of registering the SIM cards or re-registering them to interfere with what they have termed as the electronic transmission of results of the upcoming election. And they are saying they are not going to allow that to happen. And they have really criticized Chiloba, who is the Director General Chiloba, saying that they are not comfortable with him because based on his past having been at the IEBC, and they have vowed to move to court if that exercise is not going to be stopped. And therefore, these are a number of issues that really came up, and moving forward, we are going to see which they're saying also next week there are other political parties that will be joining the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Remember, today was the deadline for any person or all the coalition political party to deposit their coalition agreement with the register of political parties. But for the others, and therefore you won't be seeing any leaders from Kenya Kwanza trying to beat today's deadline, because Kenya Kwanza Alliance is not a coalition party, but Kenya Kwanza Alliance is a coalition of parties. And for any coalition of parties, their deadline is somewhere probably on 9th May, and therefore there is still time for people to continue crafting a coalition of political parties. For more of these and more of the stuff they talked about for more than 1 hour, we are going to get them deeper in our subsequent bulletins. For now, that is it. I'm taking you back to studio.